You can always find time to write or create stories or tell stories. The only thing that's stopping you is your own lack of confidence. And that comes from your fear of what other people are going to say about it. I'm here to tell you that
flying through the sky, hey, we're burning bright. They're never gonna stop us with the brightest light. Think about the times we nearly fell apart. Well, now we're so alive with the wildest stars. Spending every night with my summer breeze. Cool, young and free, pure energy. Playing all the songs that we wanna hear. 'Cause we could be dead in the morning.
What up, Internet? It's your boy, RynoRyder, back again. RynoRyder's Vlog, episode 042. This one's going to be very specific. If you've been watching any of my content or anything, you'll know that I've spent, it's now the end of September, I've spent since January, so the entire year pretty much, working on a TV series, on writing a TV series. The last few months, we have been compiling a package together, a TV Bible, if you will, a TV series Bible, and we finished it, and the pilot episode, and we started sending it out. So I thought this might be a valuable thing for you guys for me to share it with you. And so this is going to be kind of a walkthrough. I'm going to walk through the Bible and then show you the pilot episode. Both of these documents are available to download on the website we built out for the series, which I'll put right here. TheLightsAreComing.com. The Lights is the name of the series. And so yeah, if you want to go there and go to that website, you'll see first thing off the bat, so I'm at the website right now, you'll see the TV series Bible. You can click a link to that, and then the pilot episode 101. And then there's an interview. Kaya, the co-creator, was in Brazil this summer and did some scouting and did some interviewing. And so we put that up there. You see some creators, contact, some photos. I thought this was a good idea, so before I go into the Bible, I'll tell you why I did this website and put it all together. I just think it's a kind of innovative, fresh way to pitch a project. So many people are used to getting just PDFs sent to them. This gives them a whole site. They can kind of immerse themselves in the look, the feel. This story takes place in Brazil, so there's a lot of culture that has to do with it, a lot of history. So we're trying to give as much information about the entire series and everything that has to do with the series, more so than just the story. And it's $26 a month, bought the domain, whatever. I would much rather spend my money on something like this than opposed to, say, a screenwriting contest. I know a lot of people out there, screenwriters, they're putting a lot of, money and weight into some script writing contests, and just in my, 20 plus year experience, I think you can do more. I'm just a fan of making it happen for yourself rather than waiting for somebody else to say yes. So anyway, that's what led me to this idea of building out a website and putting it all together. So that being said, let's go into this series Bible. Click. So we did have this is actually the old cover. I'll update the new cover in there that just has the same cover but just lights shining. Anyway, you're not seeing this, but if you look at the cover, you'll see that we did have some graphic design help. One of Kaya's friends, graphic designer. This was the initial concept I made and kind of came up with, and this is how it translated. So I think it's a cool cover, and then as you see, each page kind of fits the look that we're going for. So here we go. Start with synopsis and vision. Basically, this is just trying to tell them the story and the structure of this series is not it's not a natural structure. It's kind of mirrored after the structure of the film Memento. Basically, each episode in the series has a beginning segment that takes place 30 years in the past, and those segments are told in reverse order. And then the present day stuff is our A story, and well, you'll see as I try to explain this as I go through the Bible. But basically, this is how the story starts out. This is how the pilot's, the kind of setup, if you will. And then we talk about the climax and kind of where we see it going. The vision for it, we wanted to highlight basically the culture and the feel. One of the reasons we want to tell the story is the setting of where it's at in Brazil is just so rich. It lends itself to a lot of freedom for creative camera angles, visuals, movement, colors, things of that nature. And then I hate doing this stuff, but the very last sentence in it, this series has the family drama of an R-rated This Is Us paired with the progressive adventure akin to Raiders of the Lost Ark with an overall structured storyline mirrored after the film Memento. I hate writing shit like that, but industry people, readers, like to have dumb shit like that laid out for them. Anyway, so I put it in there, begrudgingly. Next we move on to story origin. And this is, I think, is very interesting. I think this helps ground the story. This is all based on actual stuff. I mean, it has to deal with ancient cities, lost civilizations, aliens, undiscovered elements, just really some crazy stuff. But all of our information is all based on fact or folklore or eyewitness accounts, things of that nature. So we wanted to highlight where the story came from, that we didn't just, this is a fun adventure story, that this really has some grounding in both Kaya and I's lives. And like I said, at the end, we're not trying to have an opinion about it one way or another, but we feel that by being upfront and showcasing the truth behind these things and documents, and explorers and things that have been documented throughout history, this is just us presenting those facts as we found it. And then we go to an introduction. Here, basically, I really just wanted to try and lay out for whoever's reading this the complicated structure of the story, because it is so inherent to the series. Sorry, toilet's being loud. It's not just a linear story. It is, but there's two linear stories, and they all climax together. It's really a nothing more than a math problem, but it's an intricate one nonetheless. So I came up with this visual to hopefully explain it with this pyramid scheme. I also made it a pyramid like this with the eyes, kind of a Illuminati, like off the dollar. I just thought that was funny. Next, we go into character bios. This was another thing I really didn't want to write. These characters are me, first of all. This story, as you'll read on the creators part of it, but this story is very, very personal. It's my life, it's my family, and I put it on paper. And so, how do I do a character bio? It's such a stupid thing. One page, explain the characters, just so. But I came up with this idea that I hadn't seen before in all the other TV series Bibles that Kai and I looked at. We researched a bunch of them. Hadn't done this before. I did all of the character bios in first person. Kind of an existential, as if the person were part of this process, as if the character were part of this process of having to write a bio about themselves. And they're very honest. They talk about the character's strengths, their weaknesses, their desires, their wants, things like that. And just kind of tried to keep them in a little slice of life type way. So there's Dylan's, Frank, who is their father, and he is the main character in the B story that takes place in the past in reverse time. There's a lot of history in there, things that do come up or that are talked about in the series by other characters, things like that, and other pieces of information that actually aren't in the series at all, but would be just backstory of the character. I definitely put some time and thought into this, and then we go to Shane, who's the older brother character. Again, his is very interesting because he's not very likable on paper, and so his character bio reflects that. But because it's spoken in first person, it's interesting because he's really kind of bashing on himself and making himself sound like a complete piece of shit. But it's coming from his mouth, so I don't know how the audience will feel about that. But I don't know, it works. I like it. Then we go to Maggie. Maggie's is, I really like her bio because I like how it starts out. I love the character of Maggie. She has a mystery to her. She does have a mystery in the entire series that, it's kind of revealed in the end. And nobody really fully understands her, and I like that. She was mirrored after somebody I know very well. And finally, Abel. Abel is the guide, and ultimately becomes the antagonist of the story. Although it's not a super heavy antagonist. He has his arc as well. And yeah, he's got some depth. Anyway, so they're the characters. Put some time in there. And then the creators. So if you read this, my bio, it says that the story is very personal to me. It basically exercising a lot of demons that I have in terms of my family, and then also how I met Kaya. We live less than a quarter mile from each other here in Topanga Canyon, outside of LA, and he's from Brazil originally. He's the one that he pitched me this idea. I wrote a screenplay first, and then just wasn't working for him, and he suggested a TV series, and I just kind of ran with it, and now here we are months later. And then the back page, and "Don't be afraid" is the slogan we came up with that wanted something because aliens are involved in it, and down there, if you watch the interview, to us, aliens are portrayed, in media and movies as, big things and scary and dangerous and whatever, what have you. But down there, they're just a part of life, a way of life. They call them the lights. They refer to them as the lights, hence the title. And so the tagline, "Don't be afraid," because the aliens do exist in terms of this story and in terms of these people's beliefs. But they are not what you think they are, which is, or what they've been portrayed through Western media and cinema and all over the world. But as this angry or aggressor or superior race or anything like that, they're not. They're peaceful and are just doing their thing, just like we kind of all are. And so the line, don't be afraid, I think holds a bit of suspense and fear to it, but, you know, kind of a nurturing, overall calming effect of it's going to be okay, though. And then the website listed below at the end. So there you go. There's the Bible, and then if you go back to the website and click below, you'll see you can download the pilot script, episode 101, draft 3. Boom, there it is. We start out in the past and go all the way through the setup and everything. Page 58. So there you go. Feel free to download both of those, and for your desire or your critique or whatever, it's already out there, so I'm not looking for any feedback at all. I'm confident in it, and it is what it is, and so I put it out there. I'm more just wanting to share this with you, to maybe you can learn something from it or find some value from it. If you would like, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below on this video. You can find me on Reddit. I engage a lot on there. Instagram, and right here on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. I plan on doing as much documenting and doing as many of these vlogs as I can, showing my process as much as I can. I'd like to show the process of how I went from post-it note structure to treatment to script. I think that will be a fun one to do next. So if you subscribe to the channel, you can see that video. Share this with your friends. Just let me know how you are doing. In the meantime, you know, if you're a creative and you're a storyteller and you know, just don't listen to what anybody else tells you. Learn and do it on your own, and just do it regardless of whatever anybody fucking says, ever, forever. Forget what anybody else says and just do it if it makes you as happy as it makes me, which is the happiest in the fucking world. So if it's like that for you, and you're the only person that knows that because you're the only one that says it inside your own head, I'm telling you that I think you should do that all the time as much as you can. I'll end with this little story. I was just thinking about this yesterday. I've been trying to do a lot of engagement on Reddit, talking to a lot of young filmmakers, older, inexperienced ones, asking, you know, how do I find time to write? You know, have jobs and this and that and everything like that. And I remembered when I was 20, 21, 22, somewhere around there, and I was writing my first feature film. I worked as a parking lot attendant on a car dealership. I washed and detailed cars, and did it 5 days a week, right, for 8-9 hours a day, you know, full-time job, 40 hours a week, whatever. And I would keep a stack of index cards in my pocket, and throughout the day I would daydream or just think. I would play the story in my head, you know, that I was writing, and each step, each little thing, you know, this character says this, and then this person says this, and then he does this, and then he does this. I would take out a index card, and each index card would be like its own scene or whatever, and I would write it out, and just throughout the entire day, even though I was working and doing something that wasn't where my passion lies, it was just to, you know, make money at the time, I still was able to write and create, and then I was younger and had very little other responsibilities, so then at night I would take those notes and compile them and write them and stuff like that, or days off or what have you. My point is, You can always find time to write or create stories or tell stories. The only thing that's stopping you is your own lack of confidence. And that comes from your fear of what other people are going to say about it. I'm here to tell you that they can say whatever they want, good or fucking bad. It shouldn't matter. You should do it if it makes you happy, because that is the fucking key to life. And I think the key to great storytelling. Once you truly let go and really just learn how to do it for yourself, are you then able to tell great, amazing stories. Then with time and with knowledge and studying and learning, you can hone that and get it better and better and better and better and better and better and better. But if you want to do it, you just have to do it. It's repetition. It's hours. It's hours. It's hours. So I encourage you to do that if you want. If not, find something that you fucking love and do that. So that's it. Yeah. Subscribe would be great. Stay tuned. In the meantime, go and write a story and be happy. And share it with somebody that you love or don't love. Whatever. This is for you. I'll stop blabbering. RynoRyder. Out. Later.